I was in kindergarten. We lived in apartments in Texas, and this little girl beat the I was like, I remember it to this day. I came home, my face was all bloody. My mom says, "What happened to you?" And I thought she was going to be like, "Oh, mija, come here." You know what she told me? "Go clean yourself up, wash your face." She goes outside. She said, "You win this fight or you don't come home. You understand me?" Sorry for all the crying. Hi, welcome to Healing Out Loud. I am Michelle Cordova, and today I have my beautiful guest, Margo Baca, who is actually a very, very dear friend of mine. And today we are going to talk about something that we share in common. And there are so many things, commonalities that we have with each other, but this one is something that we lean a lot on, along with another very close friend of ours. And it's the fact that both of our mothers suffer from Alzheimer's. And if you're not aware of what Alzheimer's is a disease that slowly takes the memories and the life eventually of your loved ones. And so today we're going to talk about how we heal from that and how we help our mothers and just everything and anything in between.
Yeah.
So how long has your mom, I remember when you said, I think you reached out to me and you told me that your mom had Alzheimer's. Mm-hmm. Was that like 7 years ago? Do you remember how long it was?
We're in 2025, so onset was probably about 6 years ago.
6 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. So when was your mom diagnosed with Alzheimer's?
I want to say it was 2019, 2020. So just on the cusp of between 6 years.
6 years.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think it had been, I don't know, because Diego and I ran into her at the VFW within the year that she was diagnosed with it. And she was just like living life up, dancing, having a good time. Diego took her out. He was dancing with her. And then when I seen her at your wedding, she didn't know who I was.
It was 2022.
And she didn't know who I was. And she said, I think I know you, but I don't remember your name. And I said, that's okay. Mm-hmm. And I gave her a hug and we started talking. And every time she sees me, she tells me the same thing. My mom was diagnosed probably 15 years ago. Oh, maybe a little bit longer. But hers has been very slow. It's still, it progresses, but they immediately put her on medication that was supposed to stop the progress from speeding up, but it's still heartbreaking because I think there's been one time that I walked in and I told her, I said, "Hi, Mom." And she just looked at me. And it was, the blank stare. And I knew she doesn't know who I am. And so I just kept talking. And I was holding her hand. I sat at at her bed and just talking to her. And finally she goes, "Oh, Shelly," and she calls me Shelly. And I just thought to myself, wow, she didn't know who I was. And she's seen me pretty often. Like, I think that's probably one of the worst things is when they don't remember things.
Yeah.
Because you tell me, like, I think sometimes your mom thinks that Adam's little girl is you.
Yes.
So tell me more, like, about what you're going through and like how you're healing from that, and like how you find, because you spend a lot of time with your mom.
I do.
Like, you made a huge life change here in the last couple of weeks.
I did. And just that, like you said, that transitioning from knowing they have it, but once you actually see the impact of their disease, it's pretty emotionally powerful. And it just struck me to a core. And I think, like you said, it's kind of been progressive in the beginning, but then she also went through a traumatic situation with my stepdad. And I think with that trauma, it just really like kicked it in high gear. And so right before my wedding is when I really saw that she was really, really in the midst of this disease. Because before, like you said, she was dancing, she was moving, we could take her out and she wouldn't approach people. And that's one of the things right now that she's doing is she approaches people like she knows them. And sometimes that's tough.
Yeah.
Because she means no harm. But if she's approaching a child or just get somebody out of their comfort zone, it's sometimes uneasy.
Yes.
So that's where we're at right now. But yes, I have made a huge career decision, and I quit my job. I resigned in June. And I resigned because I worked for a company that is 24/7 food manufacturing industry. So it was pretty demanding. And so with that, I just didn't have the energy to, focus on my mom and make sure that she's okay. And she lives 5 minutes away from me. So there's absolutely no excuse to go tend to her.
Right.
But there was, because my energy level was depleted with work.
Yeah. You were handling HR issues and inventory at 2:00 in the morning.
Yes.
So no one wants to go and do anything after they've had a 14-hour day.
No, absolutely not.
I remember in the beginning how frustrating it was to be repeating myself constantly. And I remember I used to get really frustrated with my mom because it would be like, oh my God, I just told you that. And I remember one day when I said those words to her and the look on her face, I was like, I just started crying because she doesn't know that I just told her that, which is why she's asking again. And so sometimes, like in our family, we have to remind each other that they're asking again because they don't know. And it's easy for us to get frustrated because that's not who we're used to. Like, I know for you and myself, like our moms were powerful super women. They ran a household. They took care of their kids. They did everything for us. And growing up, like I watched her just be this badass woman. Nothing could get them down. It didn't matter what it was in life. Nothing could get them down. And then, I look at her now and I'm like, on the days that I let that get the best of me. And I look at her and it's like, she's just so lost. They're a prison in their own mind. And that's the hardest thing. And I remember one day telling her, she said, Mija, I don't remember. Oh, it's actually not too long ago. She had her 84th birthday on May 30th. We were all at her house. All the grandkids, all the great grandkids, everybody was there. And we were celebrating her. The next day, she still remembered that everybody had come over. And then I think it was a couple of days later, she was like, I haven't seen anyone in so long. And I'm like, everybody was here. Look, let me show you pictures. And so, because we take a lot of pictures now. And she looks at them and she goes, oh, Mia, I don't remember. My brain just doesn't work. And I said, that's okay, Mom. That's what we're here for. And just to have those memories that we hold, and hopefully we're able to hold them for the rest of our lives. And I would not, this disease is so horrible. I would not ever wish it on my worst enemy. Not that I have any enemies or anything, but I would never wish it on my worst enemy, because this disease takes everything from them. Everything.
Yeah.
And like watching you, being able to lean on you and you lean on me, and Carol too.
Yeah.
Like it's so crazy how life brought us together.
It is.
Life knew, God knew that we were going to need each other, because there are a lot of people that don't have anybody else to talk to.
Right. Yeah. The impact of us coming together the way and it was so weird, because what brought us together is just the noise outside. Mm-hmm. Right. And so, excuse me. So that noise outside really brought us three together. And then we were like figuring out, like, I didn't even know Carol, because she's probably a little bit more private. Right. Mm-hmm. And so, once she told me, I was like, what? And so here we are talking, and then she kind of started, opening up, and then found out her mom was going to be at the same memory care facility my mom was going to be at, due to Ray helping us out.
Right.
And so with all that, it was just really nice to have, like, how are you dealing with this, or how do you do this? And I find myself in the same respect to your probably impatience, right? With them. And I was the same way, because I'm a very impatient person, and had to really take it down a notch. I even got on Facebook and found groups that deal with the same thing, but it almost became overwhelming on Facebook, because they're like super negative.
They complain about about their loved ones.
And I'm
so
looking
much.
for resource on how to redirect, be more patient, meditation, all these other things that I started doing, so that I wouldn't lash out at my mom and I wouldn't be impatient with her. And so when I would ask you guys, like, what do you do? And you just repeat yourself.
Repeat it over and over again.
And over. And it actually was a learning curve for Michael as well, because he's impatient, but he's not as impatient as I am. And so he was like, wow, your mom is really different. I'm like, yeah. And he's seen the evolution of this disease with her. And he's like, today, she's just, she doesn't want to get out of bed. She doesn't want to do anything. So for me to get her to dance last week was a huge celebration. And I was like, Mom, good job, and so I celebrate those moments, those memories, because those are my memories. Mama's not going to remember those. No. So this is my selfish time, because I still physically have her here to kiss her, to hug her, and be gentle with her, because she's like a little duck. She's like a little frail. She's so weak. So the times are really different.
It's like our roles reversed. How they were with us when we were little is now how and who we are. You had mentioned your mom is in a memory care facility. I know Carol's mom is also there. Actually, quite a few people that we know, their parents are there. So my mom is very stubborn still. That was one of the things, like when my dad passed away, they had written everything up with an attorney, and I had to sign everything. And one of the things was that I would never send her to a memory care facility.
Oh.
And so for a really long time, I was taking care of her by myself. And I remember doing real estate, taking care of my mom, it was just like, it was not fun. And I had pity parties every day. Every time everybody was jumping on the motorcycles, heading out, getting in the boat, going to the lake. And here I was taking care of my mom. And I would have pity parties for myself. And I remember one day I was walking by the laundry room. She had a stroke. And everybody had left for the lake. And I was so upset. It was like I was 15 all over again.
Yeah.
Had I left, she would have died. I'd have found her in the laundry room. And so after that, it was like, you can't be upset about these things. I promised my dad I would take care of her when he passed away. And I had to fulfill that. Thank goodness now my other brother helps to take care of her. My sister is here, and my sister takes care of her full time. So I don't have to do all of that anymore. My sister does everything. I just handle her finances. But, it's like some days, just talking with my sister, it's like she's going to come to a point where my sister won't be able to take care of her. And I don't know what we're going to do, to be honest with you. I really don't. Because we talked about this last week. My mom can be very mean to my sister. She won't be mean to me. She tells me she's going to call the police on me, though. And just for the record, the only reason she's going to call the police is because I handle her finances. And I do not allow her to have her debit card. Otherwise, she will order everything and anything on HGTV. And it's like, why did you order $300 shampoo? You don't need it. Why did you order this?
Yeah.
But it's the fact that especially the strong-willed ones, they don't like having to be taken care of because no one ever took care of them when they were younger. No one ever stepped in and helped them when they were younger. But I think as children from someone who has the illness, we have a lot of healing that we need to do. And like you were talking about the groups, I had to get out of those groups because I do see that. Like I read somewhere on one, somebody had posted, is it bad for me to wish that my LO, my loved one, would die? And I'm like, and of course people are going to support them, but there's help out there.
Yeah.
There's a lot
of resources.
There's a ton of resources that, that you can, and your loved one, whoever it is, didn't ask for this.
Right.
They didn't ask for this. They would prefer that probably they didn't have to be in a position where they had to be taken care of. But, we still have a lot of good times with our moms. Like I can make my mom laugh like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah.
I've taken her across I've driven her to Texas and back. She's from Texas. And so one day she was like, I want to go see my brothers and sisters.
Oh, I remember that trip.
All the time. You need to order me a flight. And I'm like, Mom, you can't go by yourself. Well, then I guess you better order two. And I was like, Mom. So there we are, flying to Texas because I can't drive her anymore. My mom always loved driving. She would jump in the car. I remember we were little at 2-3 o'clock in the morning. And by morning we were in Texas, like 12 hours, 13 hours. Like we were in Texas. And she wouldn't stop anywhere. We slept in the car and she was just like, nothing ever stopped her. Yeah. And so I've done that trip for her probably a handful of times where it was me driving. But the last time we had to fly. And even then it was just too much for her. Yeah. We got home and...
Has she asked again since?
She's always demanding.
Oh.
She told my sister called me a couple of weeks ago and she said, Mom wants a flight to Texas. And I go, for what? She wants to go see her brothers and sisters. And I said, no, unless you're taking her. She goes, I'm not taking her. I said, well, I'm not taking her. And no, like she's not in the position anymore.
Yeah. Gotta think about her.
Taking her out of the house to the movies or to one of the kids' birthday parties, even that's too much now. She told me the last one, she said, I can't do this anymore, Mija. It everything
tired.
hurts. I'm tired. And, you know, we try to make her comfortable. We'll make a bed at one of the birthday parties. We'll put the TV on, but she knows she's not home.
Yeah.
She knows she's not home. And so it's like, but, you know, I like to laugh at the good times.
Oh, yeah.
Like, because we do have a lot of good times with them.
Absolutely.
I remember when we were at they had the motorcycle event. Was it for Christmas? At the assisted living?
The toy drive?
Yeah. For the toy drive. And your mom, what she did to me.
That was so funny. Because my mom was, I mean, growing up, that's who she was. She was just so vivacious. And she had no filter these last probably 10 years because, or maybe 15, but she was just always suppressed all her life. And so for her to come out of her shell and be who she probably always wanted to be, it just tickles me because stuff like she did and she's flashing you.
She's flashing me.
Yeah. And I'm like,
I was laughing.
and that's who she is.
Being on the motorcycle.
Being
She
on the
wanted
motorcycle.
so bad to get on the motorcycle. And
That was just
they put her on and they took her for a ride. And it's things like that, the smile, it brought life back into her.
It did.
And that's like, you put music on for her that takes her back.
It takes her back.
Like that. I think for me, that's probably one of the biggest things I like to do is I like to take her back to the times that she does remember. And so
That she loved.
Yes.
Yeah.
The dancing, because my mom was just like yours.
Yeah.
My mom was the life of the party.
Yep.
Now you know where I get it.
Yeah. Right. Yes.
And your mom was too.
She was.
Like, tell us
was.
about her.
Growing up, Mama was the most loving soul. So when you tell me your story about your mom, how she was still, you know, she was hard as nails sometimes with you guys. My mom wasn't like that. She always, Adam and I were her ducklings, and she was so soft with us. And even to this day, Adam tells her, "Do my ears, Mom," and she goes over there and rubs his ears because he's a mama's boy. And but she was so soft with us. Every night she tucked us in. Every night she said, "I love you." She was just a soft woman, and she really, really showed us love. And it was nice sometimes to have that balance because my dad was not like that with me. And so Mom always made sure we were okay. And we'd have our little brown bag sack lunches. And she was that mom. Every holiday, our house was decorated to the nines. Like it was just Halloween, Valentine's. We always got baskets from her, like little whatever. She would make up little holiday baskets. But my mom always had a heart of gold, always. And so that transcends into who I am today.
I was just going to say that. That's
I love to love and make people feel good and just do things for people. I'm a doer. And so I guess that's why I'm into HR, because I want to take care of people.
right.
And I usually put myself last and people first, which Mama always did that. She just was a good woman. And so as we grew up, my parents divorced and she got remarried to someone who was quite abusive, mentally, emotionally, and I want to say physically. Can't prove it, but I'm sure it was in there somewhere. So she became distant with Adam and I when we started getting to our teenage years. My dad actually got custody of Adam when they went through their divorce. And so she really kind of, her husband was, I guess, first, right? And I guess when you're married, they say that all the time, you put your husband first. But it really separated us. And so,
Do you think she did that to protect you guys from what she was going through?
Absolutely.
So she kind of pushed you guys away.
Absolutely.
So you couldn't see inside of what was happening.
Absolutely. She was the protector. And so I knew she made choices for our benefit, regardless if we saw it right then and there.
Right.
So that was tough because we were used to having our mom at our beck and call. So that was different. And then, as we got older, we, created our own lives. And my mom quit the post office to take care of Lexi. So that was a big deal. She was in transition of going to take care of my grandma. And so she was kind of teetering on whether to do an early retirement or not. And when the post office presented it to her and said, hey, we'll award you an early retirement, she took it. And that just made it easier for her to full-time take care of
Lexi.
Yeah. Yeah, so I could still work. And so, again, just a woman of who she was. Yeah. She always put, Adam and I usually first. At this point, she was back to, it was about us.
Yeah. So it's so crazy how our lives are so much alike because my mom had to retire because she also has MS. And so she was really sick with her MS. And she retired early. And so she took care of my 3 kids. I mean, I think they went to daycare for a little bit, but not very long, maybe a few weeks. And I never had to worry about anything because my mom and dad would pick them up for school. Actually, she would come over early to help get them ready so I could leave for work. Pick them up from school, take them to school, pick them up. If they had doctor's appointments, all those things, like that woman she made my life so easy. So easy. I mean, she potty trained all 3 of them. All I had to do was keep it going when I picked them up and took them home. And so you had said something about how she would rub Adam's ears. She would do that with my head and my arm. And so some days, like I've looked over at Diego and I'm like, can you rub my arm? And he looks at me and I told him and he's like, okay. Or I'll rub my own arm. But like you were talking
it's that
about.
Soothing.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it's soothing.
Yeah.
My mom, like you were talking about how loving your mom was. My mom was very, very loving with us. But I remember, I think I was 4 or 5 years old. And my mom used to smoke. And she was sitting there. We were outside. And I just remember her with the cigarette in her hand. My mom had a hard life, a really hard life. Like her mom had remarried, and he didn't like my mom. And so probably really early on in her, I don't know, maybe 3rd, 4th, 5th grade. I think it was 3rd grade. Her grandfather seen him hit her. And he said, no, we're taking her. And so she was raised by her grandparents.
Oh.
She never knew her dad. And she lost her first husband. He was a lineman back in the early 60s, 50s. And she lost him. He was electrocuted. And then she married my dad. And it was a very abusive relationship. I don't remember any of it. But my older brother does. And it was just a really abusive relationship. And it was like, I love my mom so much, but just if we could have gone back and been like, stop. You don't need a man to protect you. Because when she left my dad, she moved back to Texas, married somebody else, or I don't think they got married, but it was just one of those things. And then I was in 3rd grade. We came back here. And I think in 4th grade, 5th grade, somewhere around there, she met my dad, my dad, my papa. And man, like that was her soulmate. He really changed everything in our lives. And because of him, like, I truly believe that because of him, he changed who I am today. Because I didn't know what a FICO score was.
Yeah.
I didn't know what any of that stuff was. We were in survival mode all the time. And so with him, you know, coming into our lives was just a huge change in everything that we did. I remember walking into his house and I was like, oh my God, he has a pool. Like all the things that he had.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my goodness, like this is different. We're not jumping. I was always the new girl at school. All because my mom lived in survival mode. And so to be able to actually see her, like I always tell her, you lived a good life, Mom. You and Papa lived a very good life. They would travel, they would do things, and they lived a good life. But she was hard on us. Yeah. I was in kindergarten. We lived in apartments in Texas. And this little girl, she was probably, I think she was 4. I don't know. But we lived in a hard part of Texas. And this little girl beat the shit out of me. I was like, I remember it to this day. I was wearing a jean skirt and I don't even know why she wanted to fight me.
Yeah.
Like that's how hardcore it was. And her family was egging this on. Her family was like, hit her, hit her, hit her.
My goodness.
And I'm looking around going, where's my sister? Where's my brother? So anyways, I came home, my face was all bloody. My sister's friend, Peanut was her name,
Peanut.
Brought me to the apartment, knocked on the door, and my mom says, what happened to you? And I thought she was going to be like, oh, mija, come here. Let me coddle you. Let me clean you up. Let me fix your braids. No. You know what she told me? Go clean yourself up, wash your face, and put some shorts on and put some tennis shoes on. And I was like, okay. I do that. And she goes outside. She gets the mom and she said, we're going to make this a fair fight. I was 5. I was 5. And she made me go back outside.
Oh my goodness.
She made me go back outside. And I remember, and people that don't know her, my mom was always, you don't take shit from nobody. You don't ever let anybody push you around and you don't take shit from nobody. And I was like, now I understand. But she created a monster. Because she made me go outside and she made me fight this little girl. And as I'm walking out, so she sent my brother, she sent my cousin, all my cousins, she sent everybody. And she's sitting there smoking a cigarette. And I will never forget this. She said, you win this fight or you don't come home. You understand me? And I'm thinking,
wow,
I'm about to be homeless. Like, I'm about to be homeless because I don't know how to fight.
Yeah.
I went home. I went home. And let's just say that she created a monster, and I don't think she realized it that at the time, But because she just lived in survival, it was just her and 5 kids. My brother was in the military, and it was just like we were all over the place. I mean, we could play outside until the lights came on or even after. But when we came back here, it was my mom and it was just 3 of us. And it was like, I can't live like that anymore. We have to make a better life for ourselves. And that is when I see her where she is today, man, I miss her. Because I watched her fall so many times. Every time she would get back up. Every time. And now she wants to sleep. She wants to watch TV. She wants to yell and scream at the TV. And she doesn't want any noise.
Yeah.
But it's like, you have to let them have that. You have to let them have that.
You do. They get what they want now. And we have to make everything comfortable for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's different.
Yeah.
Times are different, and it's our turn to take care of them.
Yeah, I agree. And it's our turn to remind them how much they're loved and to be with them, to support them. And no matter how many times they ask, just respond. Be patient. Be loving. And like, there's nothing else that we can't change this. We can't change it. All we can do is embrace it, love them, and support them, because the day that they're gone, we can't go back and change anything.
No. Nope.
Sorry for all the crying.
We're crybabies.
I'm sorry too.
Margo and I can talk forever, and
Oh, yeah.
we will go
We will.
like into all
On and on.
on and on and on. Business, everything.
For anyone that is experiencing this horrible disease of Alzheimer's, dementia, one thing I take from this is very simple. Be patient. Be loving. And be supportive.
I agree. I think that the biggest, for anyone who's experiencing a loved one with Alzheimer's, with dementia, they're trapped in a prison in their head where they are not able to see beyond their face. Like there is what they go through is beyond anything that any one of us can help them with. And so we truly have to, like Margo said, we have to show them love. We have to have patience with them. And we have to support them in any way possible, because the day will come where this disease will take them. And if there are any regrets that you would have, then change that. Because trust me when I tell you, they don't want this disease. They don't want to feel trapped and not have any memories, not know what love is. Because I know for my mom, she takes 100 milligrams of an antidepressant medication, and that's because she would be a ball of emotions. And so now she has no emotions because of that. So be patient, be loving, and be supportive. And if you have to repeat yourself 20 times in a matter of 2 minutes, do it. And spend time with them. Margo, thank you so much for being here. I will have to have you back. But thank you so much for being here. You know, it's unfortunate that this is another bond that has brought us together, but God did this for a reason, because we're supposed to be in each other's lives. And I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come spend an hour with me and with someone else who this may resonate with, because we're experienced. We unfortunately are now taking care of our moms who used to take care of us and loving them, being patient with them, supporting them. Thank you for being here with us and for sharing this hour with us. If this resonated with you, please feel free to leave a comment, to follow any of my social media links. If you have any questions, if you're going through this and there's something that we can help you with, please feel free to reach out. Thank you.